What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Basement, and we are back here in the basement for another Round 13 review of the Brisbane Lions and the Hawthorne Hawks. They both come in today. The Lions are 4th ranked on the ladder. The Hawks are 16th ranked, but have come along as of late. Let's get into this game. My number one team, the Lions. My number two team, we already saw the Pies, lost a close one, fought hard to come back, fell just short, but they still rank at the top. Port Adelaide is another one that's right on top of them. The Melbourne Demons, they have made a case that they belong in this top 5, top 8, whatever you want to call it. I always like to look at the top 5, and those are the teams that are the teams to beat. With all this time left in the season, but still in all, the teams in the top 5 are the serious players. Is the Brisbane Lions a serious player? About to find out before we get into that. I'm Johnny Basement. Please subscribe, bell notice, hit that like button, drop some comments down below. Let me know how I'm doing. Guys, I asked you guys a few videos ago, did you like me doing the one with the chopped up video, the chopped up game that I was able to do, but then the copyrights come in? It's hard to find these videos, and that one I don't really care for too much because it cuts out so much of the game and so much of the important stuff in the game. A lot of you said you don't mind me being on here with the video and going over the take and having the box score up here. Remember, guys, I'm only a few months into my first footy season. There might be some things I forget. There might be some things I just didn't know. I might call things wrong. But you know what? I'm a sports fanatic, and I am so into footy that I get a lot of it right because I do a lot of analysis on these games. And thanks to the great Aussies that have been helping me along. All of my regulars, you guys know who you are. I got regular dwellers, I got OG dwellers, and I got incredible Aussie dwellers that have been helping me along. So big shout out to you guys that have been following along with me, giving me suggestions from Mick in Iowa to Bond to Wayback to Flex. And I sometimes don't like shouting out names. If I forget somebody, it's nothing personal. But all the Aussies have been incredible for me. Incredible for me. And I thank every single one of you guys that are in the comments, every single one of you guys that come on my live streams. I appreciate that as well. Guys, this game here was really a game, a match of nothing to lose, Hawthorne Hawks, versus expecting to win, Brisbane Lions. Expecting to win. 12 days off, plenty of rest. You're coming in against a team that you have had some history with that isn't great history. I think they're 1-3 or 1-4 the last few times they've played. The Hawks have owned pretty much the Lions, and they're not playing at the Gabba, which I have now learned is a big deal. However, what did I just say about the top 5? Top 5 means that you should be able to beat a team all the way down on the ladder. No offense, Hawks fans, but that's just the way it is. But the Brisbane Lions didn't come in today. From what I saw, we're going to go over a few things in this game. I got some shout-outs, positive shout-outs, and some bad shout-outs. What I saw in this game was a Hawks team, no egos, team play, come together, unity, fighting to get better, fighting to come up, fighting to be that team that's going to be something to mess with, I would say, within the next year or two. A lot of good young players. I wrote some notes on some young players just for a shout-out. Connor McDonald, the kid's 20 years old. He had 28 disposals, 12 scoring involvements, 444 meters gained, along with James Newcomb, 21 years old, 28 disposals, 11 scoring involvements, 5 marks, 5 clearances, 4 tackles, 477 meters gained. These are a couple of great young players that the Hawks have that they're going to continue to move forward, let alone Darcy Moore, who had a few goals in this game today, and Mitch Lewis as well, who had 4 goals in this game. I believe Moore had 2 goals, 2 behinds. Anyway, this is a team that is pulling together. They're pulling together for unity to move forward, to be a top team in this league and not a wooden spoon candidate, thanks to the West Coast Eagles. And I don't think anybody's taken over that wooden spoon but them. I know there's a few months left in the season. The Brisbane Lions, on the other hand, in this game, one thing I noticed, never switched up from the game plan. Never switched up from the game plan. How can you continuously go and play at the same pace, same game plan throughout the whole game? Just expecting to win. It's okay. We're going to end up winning this game because that's the way it's supposed to be. We're the 4th ranked team. That's the way I'm looking at it. They didn't spread the field. How about spreading the field? Instead of clustering everybody in the middle. I get it when the ball is kicked that everybody's going for the ball. How about breaking the field out? Spread the defense out a little bit. How about that? You can drive some lanes toward the goal. Why aren't you doing that? Everybody's clustered together and on top of each other trying to handball to each other. And everybody's like right here and right here and right here and right here. How are you supposed to move the ball? And then get some miracle kicks in? I don't understand that, man. The sports I watch, you spread the team. Well, how do you beat a hockey goalie? You don't beat it by shooting it straight on him. You got to spread that dude out. Side to side, side to side. You get his arms going out, his legs spreading out. Constantly have to go side to side. That works just like a defense. When you keep making a move side to side, not knowing where to go, that's when you get a good hand pass in and drive a lane. Now you get breakaways, which we hardly saw any in this game. Hardly saw any breakaways at all. Now in that first quarter, guys, we had some play here. It was a tight quarter. Again, Hawks nothing to lose. Lions expecting to win. All praise goes to the Hawks in this game. They played their hearts out. They ended up, this is 3 out of 4 that they've won. 3 out of 4 now that they've won. And this is against the top seeded team. Now in round 11, they beat the Saints. That was another notable win. So we got 2 teams now. 2 teams in the top 8 that they've taken out. This is a huge, huge finish for the Hawks, and they want to finish strong. They want to move up that ladder as best they can. The Lions, that first quarter, now at the 13-minute mark, Wilmot, Moore, and Butler. One thing I love about this, there's no fear in this game. No fear. You guys have no pads. It's all-out play. The athleticism is real. Wilmot of the Lions, and then Moore and Butler of the Hawks ran into that behind post. All going for the ball. I love it. No one pulled back. No one held up. They all ran right into that post. That's how you play the game. I don't care what game it is. Aaron Judge, my Yankees, Aaron Judge just got hurt. He ran into the wall. Have you guys seen the highlight of this? If you have not, this is a multi-million-dollar player. One of the greatest players in the game today, if not the greatest player in the game today. Didn't pull back when he was running toward a wall and went into that wall. 6'7", I think he's 270 pounds. That was not a door. He broke into that wall right at the hinge. He hurt his foot. So he's out right now, but I'm okay with him being out. Why? Because he goes 110%. He doesn't worry about his money. He doesn't worry about, oh man, I can't play. I'm going to ruin my image. No, you ruin your image when you pull back. That's when you ruin your image. All-out play is what I expect. And that play right there, I highlighted it because I love that. They all collided into the post. Luckily, no one got hurt. Usually when you go all out, you don't get hurt. When you pull back in the NFL, you pull back in a violent sport like footy as well, you're going to get hurt. Just a note in there. Now, through that half quarter, that whole first quarter was goal for goal, behind for behind. Both teams seemed to me that they were trying to establish their game plan for the day, and neither defense wanted to overload. That's what it's a hockey term. But you don't want to overload, put too much pressure on, because when you do, high pressure brings a breakaway. You don't want to do the breakaways, and I believe both teams were trying not to allow a breakaway in the beginning. They were feeling each other out. Again, the Lions never changed their game plan. So, both teams halfway through that first period, it was 12-12 at that point. 2 goals apiece. 1 goal apiece. 2 goals apiece. 6 and 6. See, there you go, 12-12. Both teams are trying to establish that. Now, another highlight that I put in here, once the Lions went up 18-12 by Reyna, Starkovich, and sorry if I screw up some of these names, Starkovich, huge hit on Butler, which caused a turnover, resulting in the Rayner goal. He leveled him. He leveled Butler. The ball came out, couple turnarounds, and went into that Rayner goal. That's what I'm talking about. Disrupt the game. Play defense. Let them know you're there. That's a common NFL term. Let them know you're there. That's back before they really started clamping down on the hard hit rules. When you let them know you're there, they get alligator arms. Alligator arms is what? This guy laid me out before. I'm a little nervous now. So when I go for the ball and I feel the footsteps coming, woohoo, alligator arms. There they are. Alligator arms. Oh, now I'm not going to catch the ball. That's what let them know you're there means. Because of the concussion era and things like that, guys really aren't allowed to hit players before they actually get the ball anymore, at least in the NFL. They're not. So, but that was the old school, let them know you're there. Anyway, big shout out Starkovich on that huge hit. causing that play for Rayner to go up. McDonald scored after that, made it 18-18. Then, the goal by Butler to make it 25-19. Hawks, Butler, the dribbler. Did you see the kick? He kicked it, and somehow the ball just bounced, dribble. Nobody around. That goal goes right in there. I found that a hilarious goal because it looked like it kind of fell off his foot, or there was something there that just threw it off. But the way it dribbled and bounced all the way to that goal and somehow went in for 6 points was incredible. I love that one right there. So at the end of the first quarter, it was 25-20. Hawks, goal for goal, we went over that. Hawks showing toughness and grit. Nothing to lose. Now that people say, well, Johnny, man, I mean the Lions are only down by 5. No. Unacceptable. Again, this is not being disrespectful to the Hawks. You're a 4th seed. They're a 16th seed out of 18 teams. You had 12 days off. Why are you coming out and going back and forth with a team that you should be beating? I get Hawks fan. The Hawks usually own the Lions, so on and so on. But when you're going to be an upper echelon team and considered that, you should be taking the reins and taking control. And we see that they did that in the second quarter. The Lions showed up for 1 quarter in this game. 1 quarter, and we're getting to that right now. The second quarter, and it really was close for a little while there. There was closeness for a little while there. Now, what I loved about the second quarter, second term, I'm gonna get these terms down. The second term started right off with Newcomb, right off the bat, with a beautiful don't argue on McCluggan. Boom! Man, he got that, just banged McCluggan back. We still called it the stiff arm. Walter Payton was the king of the stiff arm, the greatest running back the NFL has ever seen, in my opinion. Maybe you can argue Barry Sanders or Jim Brown, Emmitt Smith. Those are other names that you could argue. But Walter Payton's the GOAT, and he was the GOAT of the stiff arm. The don't argue. I love it. Just don't argue. Just sit down. Newcomb blasted McCluggan to get the ball moving in their direction. That was an awesome one right there. Now, Cameron gets his second goal of the game. To tie it up 26-26. Cameron is going to be a shout-out of mine at the end of this video, and you're going to love those shout-outs. My Lions shout-outs you're really going to like, so we're going to get into that. Now, 33-26 Lions after an Ashcroft goal. He's going to get a shout-out as well. Anyway, there was 12 minutes. I found this interesting. Both sides were going back and forth and fighting back and forth. Both sides would drive to the goal. They drive to the goal, and then both teams would just flame out when they got to the goal. They just flame out. Again, nobody's spreading the defense out. Everybody's clustering here, clustering there, clustering here, clustering there, cluster. Spread it out. I know there's guys in wings on the outside. I hardly saw anybody running down the wings. Hardly anybody. So anyway, it's a testament to me, to the Hawks more than the Lions, because they're playing with grit, toughness, and they're coming together as a team. Again, no egos. Everybody next man up. Who's the next man up? We're going to take these Lions. We're going to take this game. We're going to continue winning and continue knocking off top 8 teams. Again, they already beat St. Kilda 2 rounds ago. Round 11, I believe it was. That I didn't write down. I'm going off the top of my head on that one. So anyway, Lions expecting to win. You're starting to see what I'm going at here? Then all of a sudden, it's okay. Lewis gets a goal after a horrible... Did you see this pass out by Pryor? What? This is what I mean by expecting to win. Lazy play, lazy passes, just a little, I'm going to run with the ball out here on the wing, and then, boom, here you go. Like the dude on the Hawks standing right here. I'm right here. And he passes it right to me. What are you doing? This is what I mean by expecting to win. That's lazy. That's not paying attention. That's not, would they have done that playing the Pies or the Demons or the Power? Probably not. Probably been more aware of your situation and your surroundings, who's around. But when you don't respect the team that you're playing, that's when this type of crap happens. And there's more examples coming up. That's when this type of crap happens. And this falls on the coach. I like Chris Fagan, but it falls on the coach too. This team didn't look prepared. They looked tired and expecting to win. I'm going to use that term a lot. I'm going to run it into the ground because that's all I was thinking when I was watching this. So, anyway, that's pure laziness. Now, The end of that second half, from the 10-minute point down to the end of the quarter, all Lions. This is where we're like, all right, the Lions have got it together. The Lions are taking over. We're going to crush the Hawks now. We're the number 4 team. Hipwood, in the last 10 minutes, gets 2 more goals. He had 4 on the day, Hipwood. 4 on the day. He had 2 goals there. Rayner added a goal. 31-9 in the second quarter, Lions. 31-9. That's what I'm talking about. The Lions found a way. The second half of that 10 minutes before halftime, the Lions said, hey, this is our team. This is our game. Expecting to win. Now we got you. Hawks should be done, right? Hawks should be done. I don't know what they talked about halftime, but they probably didn't talk about anything much because they came out in that third quarter. And you guys know what I always say. That should be enough, right? I mean, give me a break, man. We're up 51-34 against a 16th ranked team. Should be enough. We just crushed them in the last 10 minutes of that game. Of that quarter, excuse me. 31-9. Should be no problem. Telling you, it shows in the play. It really does. It shows in the play. Teams come out expecting to win. Now we're crushing them. There should be no problem, right? Wrong. Yep. What is it, 17 points, 51-34? 17 points, right? Now, highlight. There's some plays each quarter that I like to highlight because you guys know my favorite play. The biggest draw that I had in the offseason that drew me into watching the sport. The Specky. Big shout out to Brockman on a humongous Specky. No goal was scored right after it. I just loved it. If you guys want to know what I'm talking about, it happened at the 17:30 mark of the game. Now, when I talk, that doesn't mean 17 minutes into the game. I mean like a couple of minutes in. 17 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game, in the third quarter. I do it differently over here in America. I watch the way it counts off there. Maybe I should start changing that up. So when I say 17:30 in the third quarter, I'm literally mean there was 17 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter. So a couple guys in the comments told me, hey man, I went to that 17:30 mark. I didn't see that. It took a little while before it hit me that you guys are going 17 minutes in. I literally mean at 17 and 30 left. So apologize. That's my bad for not picking that up right away. Anyway, that happens because we're in the basement. That's why that happens. So anyway, the Brockman Specky was a definite highlight. Now, 63-47 Lions after the goal by Hipwood at the 10:20 mark. So halfway point of the third quarter. The Hawks, there will be 0 scoring. Unlike the first, it's the second quarter, or the second half of that second quarter, all Lions. All Lions. This time, nada. 0. Nothing. No signs of life. No goals. No behinds. Nothing. 0 effort. Wow. You go into that quarter, no urgency at all from the Lions in this game. No urgency. None. Expecting to win. When you expect to win, there's no urgency. Would they have done this against the Power, the Demons, or the Pies? No freaking way. No way. No way. There would have been urgency. There's no urgency here. We're like, we're playing the Hawks, the 16th. Don't tell me that doesn't go through players' minds. I don't care what the sport is. It does. It does. And then when you see the tides turning, you didn't have it in you the whole game. Now it's hard to get it back into you, to get back into this game and find some desperation and find some urgency. Lions didn't show it. That falls on coaching as much as it does the players. I'm sorry, but it does. It's a reflection of the coach and how they came in with 12 days to prepare. Now, no urgency from the Lions. Now the Hawks, 4 goals, 2 behinds in the last 10 minutes of that third quarter. 39-12. 39-12. You see it right there in that third quarter. Wow, what a turnaround. 39-12. You had 2 goals from Lewis, a goal from Kochke, and a goal from Meek. Full campsite. Down in the Lions' end. Pitch your tents. Get that campfire going. I'm bringing the dogs. You bring the burgers. You bring the beers. We're going to have a party. Let's have some s'mores because we're camping in the Lions' end right now. That's what we're going to do for the rest of this third quarter. Matter of fact, that's what we're going to do for the rest of this half. The rest of this half. because the Lions wanted to sleep on us. Figured that second quarter, that's all they had to do. Yeah, I get annoyed at my teams. I really do. I get annoyed at the Pies. I'm really annoyed at the Lions. I'm really annoyed at them in this game. All due respect, Hawk fans, to your Hawks. I will tell you 1,000 times over, they played a full game, full team, full unity. So I'm not ripping on them. Understand, number 4, number 16, even though the Hawks aren't playing like that lately. And they did just knock off the Saints. I mentioned that before. So don't get mad at me way back. And Mrs. Wayback, don't get mad at me, guys. I'm not trashing your team. Those are 2 great Aussies that follow me, and they're on my live streams a lot. Very helpful to me in my footy journey as well. Anyway, that's where we're at with that. Third quarter was basically the Hawthorne Hawks versus Eric Hipwood. That, not the Lions, just Eric Hipwood. That was the third quarter to sum that whole thing up. Hawks versus Hipwood. That's it. That's all we had there. So, 73, we come into that quarter after the half up 51-34. We leave that quarter down by 10, 73-63. Wow. 73-63. And as you see right there, we're only going to score 10 more points. Only 10 more points. Now, some crazy things happened in the fourth quarter, which you guys know, if you guys saw the game. I wanted to give another shout out, though, to Gardner of the Lions. Did you see this pathetic, with 18 minutes and around 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter, did you see this pathetic kick by Gardner? It was a lazy kick. It went like 5 feet to nobody. Nobody on his team was around. Nobody. He kicks the ball, and this ends up, listen, it didn't end up in a goal right away. But McDonald eventually scored a goal within 1.5 to 2 minutes after this lazy, non-caring, I don't give a crap kick by Gardner. That's a big shout out to you, Gardner, for doing 0 in today's game. Thank you. The dude kicked the ball like they were up 174-40, whatever the Crows beat the West Coast Eagles by. He acted like they were up by that many points. He kicked that ball. It's a lazy kick. Nobody knows what's going on. And then the Hawks eventually keep that ball, keep that high pressure down there, and McDonald ends up kicking that goal. Now, the biggest part of this fourth quarter was what? I got some questions on this. Sicily. I know he just came off a suspension. 1-game suspension, his first game back. Now he's going in front of the tribunal. I'm trying to be fair here because I watched the hit. That inbound kick. Wasn't this more incidental, guys? I know that McCluggan's head, it was under his chest. When you really watch the play, I think O'Sullivan was also in on that. Now, O'Sullivan's not even a part of this. O'Sullivan is not even a part of the question if this happened. When you watch it, Sicily hits McCluggan. They're both going for the ball now. This is incidental to me. This is incidental. I know a guy's injured. Someone has to pay the price for it. O'Sullivan rolls over the top going for the ball. No, to me, nothing wrong was done here. Nothing. This was all a footy play, as you would say. We call it a football play, a hockey play, what have you. This guy was incidentally injured by everybody going for the ball. Now, Sicily, on the same hand, when McCluggan is face down, he kind of pushed on him when he got up. I don't know if he knew he was out cold. I don't know. I don't know enough about the sport or about Sicily to say, is this the type of guy that he is? But him just coming off a suspension, this looked pretty incidental to me. And the fact that O'Sullivan's name isn't even coming up to go to the tribunal is weird to me. If you're going to bring in Sicily, you have to bring in O'Sullivan. He rolled over the top. But again, when you really watch the replay, they were all looking at the ball. They're all looking at the ball. Now, Sicily, did he push McCluggan forward? Are they fighting? Things like that. I don't know how much of that is allowed in footy, to be honest with you. I know in the NFL, if you start slamming people from the back and doing this to try to get the ball, it's interference. Now, I know there's a gazillion flags in the NFL that are not in footy. Thank goodness they're not in footy. To me, that's a little incidental, but again, he just came off a suspension for a hard bump. Maybe they're judging it off that. I don't know. To me, it looked pretty clean. It looked like a real footy play. Everybody's going for the ball. And if you're going to bring in Sicily, then you got to bring in O'Sullivan too, because he was just as guilty as Sicily was. I just don't see how. Thank God McCluggan's okay, because his head went down to his chest on the ground. Thank God he's okay. And I think that's what it is, because in the NFL, if you weren't aware, a legal hit on a quarterback, shoulder pad to the chest, just throwing a ball, completely legal, completely clean. The NFL allows the referee that if he personally feels that was roughing the quarterback, well, man, you throw that flag. Why? Because they want the game to be clean and light and protect our assets, protect our money. Quarterbacks mean money, especially big-name quarterbacks. So I don't know if that's the same thinking over here in footy. Because to me, I don't see, if the guy gets suspended, honestly, I don't know why he's getting suspended. Now, again, I don't know Sicily's history. Is he that kind of player like Dominican Sue? Do you guys recognize the name Dominican Sue? No matter what this guy did, it's going to be a flag and fines. Even on a clean hit, this guy had dirty plays in the past to where, even if he tried to clean his game up, which he did a lot, he was a defensive lineman for the Detroit Lions for a long time. And he'd had a couple of rough shots when he was younger. Whatever the case, as he got older and played a cleaner game, they still threw the flags. James Harrison, another one for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Start playing a cleaner game, now they throw the flags because they got your name. You had a reputation. Does Sicily have this reputation? Please, guys, let me know. I don't want to go on about it too long. Just giving you my personal opinion of it. Now, again, the Lions. Thank you. Thank you as a Lions supporter and fan. Thank you for showing up for the second quarter and not losing every quarter. I'm being severely sarcastic right now. You scored 31 points in the second quarter, 22 total in the fourth. 22 total points in the fourth. 22. That's it. 22. Listen, guys, you're number 4 team and you're going to be a serious contender and a serious player. It's not how you do it. It's not how you do it. You have to beat the teams that you are supposed to beat. That's the way it is. No matter how great that other team is playing, how much they're coming along, the Hawks showed how to play the game today. The Lions never switched up their game. They weren't good in transition, and they weren't good at spreading the field. You got to spread that field so you can get guys on breakaway situations. It's a hockey mentality. I tell you guys all the time, footy reminds me of hockey. Spread the lanes out. Give a guy a chance for a breakaway. You get guys drawing. Everybody draws to the ball. Hey, man, now we got this lane open. Boom, handball, bang, right down the middle. And stop expecting to win. Shout-outs. Shout-outs. I gave you my Hawks shout-outs. The players that deserve those shout-outs. I gave it to them. Now we're going to do honorary mentions. Charlie Cameron. I even have his number on, right? Charlie Cameron. My favorite Brisbane Lion. Disappeared the whole second half. Disappeared the whole second half. These are my disappearing acts. Joe Danaher. Was he even playing today? Was Joe Danaher even in the game today? What do you have, like 1 behind and 10 disposals? Let's see what he had. There he is. Danaher, 10 disposals, 0 goals, 1 behind. Hey, thanks for participating, man. Thank you for your participation. Lackey Neal, where are you? 30 disposals. Great. We need points, man. We need goals. Where are you? Thanks for the behind. I know you guys always hear me say behinds count. Yes, they do. And I understand if you have more behinds than goals and your forwards, you guys aren't scoring right, man. You got a scoring problem. Like the Demons yesterday, 8 goals, 18 behinds. I get it. I always made a big deal about 18 behinds. Like, hey, it's 18 points. I get the fact that if you have almost double what you had on goals, that's really bad because you're forward. No one's scoring. You need kicking practice or whatever you might call it. Anyway, Latchy Neal, another one. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for participating. Will Ashcroft, another one. Goal of the year candidate, no doubt, against Fremantle. I don't know who's beating that. Anyway, thanks for showing up, Will Ashcroft. Thanks for showing up and getting 1 goal and then disappearing. Appreciate it. Eric Hipwood, no sarcasm. He's the only one that played today. The only one that played today. You can give a little shout out to Rayner. I think he had like 2 goals. Where is he at? There he is. 2 goals, 14 disposals. There's really not much to talk about here. Cameron, 2 goals. Hipwood, the only real player today. The only real guy that showed up. It was the Hawks versus Eric Hipwood today. That's what we saw out there. Joe Danaher, the Bomber fans that told me the guy disappears, saw it today. Didn't see him. Great magician act. Thank you. Thank you. Cameron, Neil, Ashcroft, and who was? Oh, Danaher. I just mentioned him. I'll give him a double shout out. Thanks a lot, guy. We really appreciate that for expecting to win today. This is a big lesson, guys, and when you come out after a bye week, 12 days off, whatever you want to call it, they came out. That's on you, Fagan. That's on you. Coaching. These guys were not ready. They came out expecting to win. No transitions. Horrible in transition. No game plan change-ups. No, you got out-coached today. Out-coached. I love my Lions, but that's the hard facts. That's what it is. Guys, subscribe, bell notice, like button. Keep this basement rolling. We're aiming for 5,000 subs. Horrible weekend for me. My Lions lost. Pies lost. Horrible weekend. It's like the first round of the NHL playoffs for me. My Rangers lost and my Lightning lost. They're both out of it. Thankfully, this isn't the finals right now. Guys, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for your support of this channel. I really, really appreciate it. Drop the comments down below. Let me know what I missed. Give me some angles to look for in the future that I may not even be thinking of right now. That would be very helpful, guys. Appreciate every single one of you. I'm Johnny Basement, and I am out.